Have you ever started something full of fire, and then quietly walked away from it? Be honest. How many times did you say, "This time I'll finish," and you didn't? Stay with me until the end, because what you're about to hear might change how you see yourself forever. Because this is not about laziness. It's not about discipline. It's about something deeper. And once you see it, you won't be able to unsee it. There was a man named Alaric Vance, not famous, not special, just stuck. He lived in a small apartment with peeling paint on the walls and a ceiling fan that made a slow clicking sound every night. Click, click, click. That sound haunted him, because every click felt like time passing, time wasted. He had notebooks full of ideas, business plans, workout routines, online courses he never finished, half written, half started, half dead. He wasn't dumb. He knew what to do, but he never stayed long enough to see anything through. And deep down, it ate him alive. He felt invisible, like his life was going nowhere. Every morning he woke up with a little hope, and every night he went to bed with a little less of it. He would scroll through his phone watching other people win, people building, people finishing, people becoming, and him restarting, again, and again, and again. One night, he sat on the edge of his bed. The room was dim. The air felt heavy. That same ceiling fan, click, click, click. He whispered to himself, "What's wrong with me?" No answer. Just silence. And something worse. Acceptance. That quiet, dangerous thought. Maybe this is just who I am. That's when it hit him, hard. A wave of frustration. His chest tightened. His hands shook, and he said out loud, "Nothing is changing. Nothing will change." That was his breaking point. Not anger. Not failure. But surrender. The moment he almost gave up on himself. The next morning, he left his apartment. No plan. No direction. Just walking. The streets were cold. The air smelled like wet wood and dust. He wandered into a quiet part of town he had never noticed before. And that's where he saw it. A small workshop. Old. Worn down. A wooden sign hung above the door. Faded letters, but still readable. R. Calderon, Carpenter. For some reason, he stopped. Something pulled him in. Inside, the smell hit him first. Fresh wood, sawdust, oil, warm, real, alive. An older man stood at a workbench. Focused, precise, every movement slow, intentional. This was Rowan Calderon. His hands were rough, scarred, but steady. He didn't look up, just said, "You're not lost. You're avoiding something." Alaric froze. "How did you?" Rowan cut him off. "People who are lost don't walk in here. People who are running do." Silence. Alaric didn't know what to say, so he told the truth. "I start things, but I never finish them." Rowan nodded, like he'd heard it 1,000 times. Then he picked up a small piece of wood, rough edges, unfinished. He handed it to Alaric. "Feel that." Alaric ran his fingers across it. It was uneven, jagged, uncomfortable. "That's you," Rowan said. "Started, not finished." That stung, but it was true. Then Rowan pointed to a polished wooden chair in the corner. "Smooth, strong, beautiful. Same wood," he said. "Different ending." Alaric stared at it. "What's the difference?" Rowan finally looked at him. Eyes sharp, calm. The one who didn't quit. Silence filled the room. Heavy. Real. Alaric felt something shift inside him. Not motivation. Not excitement. Something quieter. Something grounded. Rowan wiped his hands and leaned against the bench. "If you want to change," he said, "I'll give you something simple." Alaric leaned in, desperate. "What is it?" Rowan raised one finger. "Just one rule." He paused, let it land, then said slowly, "Finish one thing every day for 30 days. No exceptions." Alaric blinked. "That's it." Rowan nodded. "That's it. No long speech. No complex system. Just one rule. Simple, but heavy." Alaric hesitated. "What if it's small?" Rowan shrugged. "Good. What if it's not perfect? Even better. What if I don't feel like it?" Rowan smiled slightly. "That's the whole point." Alaric stood there, thinking, doubting, fearing. Because deep down, he knew, starting was easy for him. Finishing. That was the war. Rowan walked past him and opened the door. Cool air rushed in. "Come back tomorrow," he said. "Or don't." Then one last line. But if you don't, nothing changes. Alaric stepped outside. The world looked the same, but something felt different. For the first time in a long time, he wasn't thinking about starting. He was thinking about finishing, and that terrified him. That night, the ceiling fan kept spinning. Click, click, click. But this time, he didn't feel trapped. He felt challenged. The next morning, he almost didn't go. He woke up late. His phone was already in his hand, scrolling, avoiding. That familiar feeling crept in. Maybe tomorrow. But then, Rowan's voice echoed in his head. If you don't, nothing changes. Alaric sat up, slow, heavy, like his body didn't agree with his decision. But something deeper did. He got dressed. No music, no motivation, just movement. The streets felt colder today. The sky was dull, gray. Even the air felt resistant. But he kept walking, step by step, until he reached the workshop. Rowan was already there, working. No greeting, no smile. Just a quick glance, and a nod. You came. Alaric nodded back. Barely. Rowan pointed to a small wooden block on the table. Today's job, he said. Sand it. Finish it. Alaric picked it up. Rough again. Just like yesterday. He grabbed the sandpaper. Started slowly. Scrape. 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 It was boring. Painfully boring. Minutes felt like hours. His mind started talking. This is stupid. This won't change anything. You've done harder things. He stopped. Looked at the block. Still rough. Still unfinished. He exhaled, frustrated. This isn't working. Rowan didn't even look up. Good. Alaric frowned. What? That feeling, Rowan said. That's where most people quit. Silence. Alaric stared at the block again. Something inside him pushed back. A quiet resistance. Not loud. Not powerful. But present. He sat down again and continued. Scrape, scrape, scrape. Slowly, the edges softened. The surface changed. It wasn't perfect, but it was different. After what felt like forever, he stopped, ran his fingers across it. Smooth, not flawless, but finished. Rowan walked over, took the block, turned it in his hands, then nodded. Done. That word hit him. Done. It felt unfamiliar, small, but real. Rowan placed it on a shelf, next to nothing, just empty space. This is where it starts, he said. Alaric didn't celebrate, didn't feel proud, just quiet. That night, back in his apartment, the ceiling fan spun again. Click, click, click. But something was different. There was one thing he didn't abandon. Day one, finished. The next day, he didn't want to go. Even more than before. His body resisted. His mind resisted. Everything said, skip it. But he remembered. One rule. He showed up. Rowan handed him something new. A simple joint. 2 pieces of wood. Fit them together, Rowan said, properly. Alaric tried. It didn't fit. Too tight. Too loose. He adjusted. Again. And again. Frustration grew. His jaw tightened. His hands started shaking. This is stupid. He slammed the pieces down. Silence filled the room. Rowan looked at him. Calm. Unmoved. You want to quit? Alaric didn't answer. But his silence said everything. Rowan stepped closer. Lowered his voice. Say it. Alaric clenched his fists. I want to quit. Rowan nodded. Good. That word again. Good. Now you're at the edge, Rowan said. This is where his life changed. Alaric looked up, confused. Rowan pointed at the wood. Finish it. Simple. Again. Alaric picked it up. Hands still tense. Mind still loud. But something shifted. Slightly. Less emotion. More focus. He adjusted slowly. Carefully. Measured. Tried again. It still didn't fit. A micro failure. Small. But painful. He closed his eyes. Took a breath. Then again. And again. Minutes passed. Then. Click. It fit. Perfect. Tight. Clean. He froze, staring at it. Then slowly, a small smile. Not big. Not dramatic. But real. Rowan nodded. You're learning. Alaric looked at him. No. I'm just doing small things. Rowan shook his head. No. He leaned in. "You're becoming someone who finishes." That line stayed, deep, heavy. That night, Alaric sat on his bed, phone in his hand again. The urge came back. Scroll, escape, avoid. But then he stopped, put the phone down, opened an old notebook, half-filled pages, old ideas, unfinished. He stared at them for a long time. Then he picked one. A simple task. Write one page. Just one. He didn't want to. Every part of him resisted. This doesn't matter. You'll quit anyway. But he remembered one rule. He wrote. Slowly. Messy. Imperfect. But he didn't stop. Until, done. He closed the notebook, sat back, and for the first time, he felt something new. Not excitement, not motivation, control. Day 2, finished. Days passed. 3, 4, 5. Each day, a battle. Some days easy, most days hard. Day 7, he almost broke. He skipped the workshop, stayed home, laid in bed, staring at the ceiling. Click, click, click. That old feeling returned. Heavy, familiar. See, you can't do it. Hours passed. He did nothing. The day slipped away. Night came. Silence. Then, regret. Sharp, uncomfortable. He sat up, heart racing. No. He grabbed his shoes, ran outside. Dark streets, cold air, fast steps. He reached the workshop, closed, lights off. Too late. He stood there, breathing hard. That voice came back. You failed. He leaned against the door, eyes closed, defeated. But then, something changed. A thought. Different this time. I didn't finish, but I can still try. He looked around, found a small piece of wood near the entrance, sat on the ground, used his keys, and started carving. Crude, ugly, messy. But he didn't stop. Minutes later, it was done. It was terrible, but finished. He held it in his hand and whispered, "Still counts." That night, back in his room, the fan spun again. Click, click, but this time, he smiled. Because for the first time, failure didn't stop him. Days turned into weeks. 8, 9, 10. Alaric kept showing up. Not perfectly, but consistently. Some days, he walked into the workshop with focus. Other days, he dragged himself in like dead weight. But he came, every time. Rowan never changed. Same calm eyes, same quiet presence. No praise, no pressure, just the work. By day 12, something strange happened. The resistance was still there, but it was softer, less loud, like a storm, moving farther away. Alaric noticed it one morning. He woke up, sat on the edge of his bed, the ceiling fan spinning above him. Click, click, but this time, there was no dread, just a thought. Let's finish something. He paused, surprised. That sentence felt new, unfamiliar, but right. At the workshop, Rowan handed him a small project, a wooden box, simple design, but detailed work. "This will take days," Rowan said. Alaric nodded. No fear this time, just awareness. Day 1. He started, measured wrong, cut uneven. The lid didn't align. He stared at it, frustration rising. That old voice came back. "This is too much. You're going to mess it up." He stepped back, closed his eyes, took a breath, then whispered to himself, "Just finish today's part. Not the whole box, not perfection, just today." He adjusted, worked slowly, focused. And by the end, one side was done. Not perfect, but done. Day 13, finished. Day 14, he didn't feel like going. Rain hit the windows. Soft. Cold. The bed felt warm. Safe. He almost stayed. Almost. But then, he remembered something. A memory. A younger version of himself. Sitting at a school desk, holding a drawing. Proud. Excited. He had shown it to someone, and they said, "You never finish anything anyway." That moment stayed. Buried. Quiet. But powerful. He opened his eyes. Got up. No more. That day, he walked through the rain. Clothes damp. Shoes wet. But he didn't stop. At the workshop, he He continued the box, hands steady, mind clear. Day 14. Finished. This is where his life changed. Not in a big moment, not in a loud victory, but in quiet consistency. Day 15. Day 16. Day 17. Each day, a piece of the box came together. Each day, he fought and finished. Then came day 18, the hardest one. He woke up exhausted, body heavy, mind foggy. Everything inside him said, "Skip today." He sat there, still, silent. Then the thought came back. Nothing is changing. Nothing will change. That line, that old surrender. It tried to pull him back. He almost gave in. Almost. But then, he stood up, slowly, and said something out loud. Something new. I finish what I start. That was the moment. That was the shift. An identity line. Not a wish. Not a hope. A decision. At the workshop, he picked up the box. One final piece left. The lid. He worked carefully, measured twice, cut once, slow, precise, then placed it on top. It fit, perfectly. He froze, hands still, eyes locked on it. A full piece, complete, no gaps, no loose ends, just finished. Rowan walked over, looked at it, then at him. You see it now? Alaric nodded. Quiet, but certain. It's not about big things, he said. Rowan smiled slightly. It never was. Alaric ran his hand across the box. Smooth, solid, real, 30 days, almost there. The final stretch. Day 25, day 26. Even when it got boring, he finished. Even when it felt pointless, he finished. Even when no one was watching, he finished. Day 30, he walked into the workshop. Different, not louder, not more confident, just grounded. Rowan handed him nothing, just stood there. Well, he asked. Alaric looked around. The tools, the wood, the shelf. And there it was, 30 small pieces, blocks, joints, carvings, and the box, all finished. He took a deep breath and said softly, I did it. Rowan nodded, then asked one final question. Who are you now? Alaric didn't hesitate. I'm someone who finishes. Silence, but not empty. Full, complete. Rowan stepped closer and said quietly, Then you'll never be stuck again. Alaric walked out of the workshop that day, but something stayed, that rule. Simple, powerful, unbreakable. Finish one thing every day for 30 days. No excuses. And now, this is where you come in. You, sitting there, thinking about all the things you started and didn't finish. Be honest, you know exactly what I'm talking about. That one project, that one goal, that one promise. Still waiting, still unfinished. Here's the truth. You don't need more motivation. You don't need more time. You need a new identity. Start small, painfully small, but finish, every day, no matter what. Because the moment you become someone who finishes, everything changes. Most people will hear this, feel something, and still do nothing. Don't be most people. Try this for 30 days and comment below.